I see too many stories of people launching, seeing that it's not meeting their expectation, and they give up.
To start.
To start,
Yeah,
that was your answer.
yeah, that's my answer.
Yeah,
I mean,
let's do it.
We do about 200,000 a month revenue with
Yeah.
20% profit. The truth is that any business will work. Like all businesses, there is someone in all domains that makes millions.
I'm currently in the beautiful city of Chiang Mai, which is located in northern Thailand. Chiang Mai has a vibrant digital nomad community, and that is why we're going out today and we will be interviewing digital nomads, and we want to find out what exactly they are doing to make money. And the goal of this video is to give you precise ideas of how you can make money from anywhere in the world as well, and maybe to give you inspiration for your own digital nomad journey. Okay, and I just grabbed some breakfast for 80 cents only. So I think one of the reasons why so many nomads come here is because life is truly affordable. And I thought in order to do the interviews, I'll go to one of the many co-working spaces here, as I'm sure we'll find a few people who are willing to do the interview with us. I'm already seeing one. Let's go. Okay, awesome. I actually have found someone to make the first interview with. Thank you so much for joining. Maybe you can say for the viewers, what's your name and where you come from?
yeah, so my name is Clement.
I hold it, yeah.
Okay. My name is Clement and I come from France.
Yeah, awesome. And we talked a little bit before the interview, and it's funny because you do Amazon FBA as well, and you actually have seen one of my videos, right?
Yeah,
About
that's
Amazon
it.
Global Logistics. Okay, that's pretty cool. And you're now in Chiang Mai as well.
Yeah.
So that means you are living off of Amazon FBA and you're traveling at
Yeah,
the same time?
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, can you talk a little bit about how you do Amazon FBA and where you do it, if you do private label, and just a little bit about that?
I started like 3 years ago,
Yeah.
and at the beginning I was just doing wholesale,
Mhm.
so it was easier, and I started with only $200.
Okay.
So I was pretty poor. I was student at that time.
Yeah.
And
It's typically easier. You don't need as much money
yeah,
with
exactly.
wholesale.
Yeah, you can start with a low budget and then scale slowly, but it's doable, I would say.
Yeah.
And then I had another company on the side, and I was making some money with it. Then I booked a private label brand on Flippa, if you know it.
Oh, you bought it? Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bought it on Flippa, and then I tried to make this brand bigger.
Mhm.
And on the side, I started another brand on private label, but
Yeah.
this time on the US marketplace.
Uh-huh.
So now I'm more focused on the US marketplace,
Yeah.
because I think it's easier because you don't have like VAT and all these European regulations that are completely shitty, and every 6 months there is a new rules or new fees, and so I think US is okay, more competition, but the market is way bigger, and I think it's easier for me.
Okay. So maybe we can go back to the wholesale aspect. How much money were you making, and what was the reason to go to Amazon FBA private label?
Yeah, like I started with a product. It was like a wipe, but for glasses.
Okay.
It was making like maybe 2,000 USD profit per month.
Profit or revenue?
Yeah, profit.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it was really great at this time. It was working, but then some people come to the listing, took the buy box, and I was fucked. So I was like, oh,
That's the problem with wholesale.
yeah, that's a huge problem with wholesale, because if someone come to you and lower their prices,
Mhm.
you can lower your prices or you are out of the game.
Yeah.
So it's really complex.
And can I ask you, why did you pick that product? Was it unique at that time? Or were you the first one to really sell it, or?
Yeah, I was the second one who was selling it, but I had a friend who was working in this company, so I had a good price to buy it.
Yeah. Okay.
sorry.
Yeah, you could buy it cheap.
Yeah, cheap.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, that's cool. And then you bought a brand that was already established.
Yeah.
And how much did you have to invest in that? And then how did the revenue go from then on, since you did Amazon, the private label?
Yeah, I booked it for I think 15,000 euro.
Yeah.
So it was a small brand, but it was cool for me because it was only made in France product.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But it was harder to make it grow because of that. Because it's really hard to source product in France,
Yeah.
and suppliers are terrible, and so I had to find a new plant And then I was okay, what I should do.
Mm.
So I start a new brand from scratch. And
Yeah.
then I'm sourcing from China
Okay.
and focusing on the US market.
And may I ask you, how much money do you make with that new brand that you have established right now
$500,000 per year.
in revenue?
Yeah.
Yeah. And how much is the profit margin?
Yeah. Between 15 to 20%.
Yeah. Okay.
But
That's great.
yeah.
Yeah. And you said you have a YouTube channel as well.
Yeah.
So that's funny. We have so much in common. You have a YouTube channel as well. You offer to help French sellers as well to get into Amazon FBA
Exactly.
and to be successful, just like you are. Yeah.
Maybe not. Just if they want to try something new and launch a new business. But I'm pretty honest about it.
Yeah.
I tell them it's really hard,
That's
guys.
important.
You will cry and you will suffer, but it could be cool, and you can make money and maybe start this new job and have a cool journey.
Yeah, that's also my experience that it's tough at times, but if you give up, then you don't get anywhere.
Yeah.
The last question would be, what would you recommend someone who wants to start out with Amazon FBA right now? What's your best advice?
To start.
Yeah, for a beginner who says, I want to live abroad as well with Amazon FBA business. What's your best advice for them?
To start.
To start.
Yeah.
What's your answer?
Yeah, that's my answer.
Yeah,
I mean,
just do it. Yeah.
Just don't get overwhelmed by all the information that you can find on the internet, because it will fuck your brand. So just start little, try, and if you like it, push.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, start something else, and maybe it's not for you.
Yeah. Okay. If anybody who's watching right now is from France and wants to start, how can they find you on YouTube?
The name is Stupid Seller.
Stupid Seller.
And they can find me.
Okay. Well, you can look it up. And thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you. Bye-bye, guys.
So now I'm joined by
Madeline.
And you're also doing Amazon FBA.
That's right.
Also here in Chiang Mai. And that's perfect for an interview right now.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your journey, how you got into Amazon FBA.
Yeah, well, I started Amazon in 2018. I was only 19 years old. I didn't do anything before that, but school.
Yeah, from school into business.
I mean, I had some summer jobs, but they were nothing serious.
Okay.
But there's a guy, his name is Adi Huditsan, a Romanian guy, that inspired me since I was 16 to do this Amazon thing. And I had it on my mind for a long time. So it was like something in my, like a dream kind of thing to do Amazon FBA. And then slowly I started to find my first product, launch it, made good profits, but then had run into issues, happened issues, had to stop that product.
And you're selling in the US?
That's correct.
And you learned it from a guy from Romania. You are from Romania.
I am from Romania, but I didn't learn it from the guy.
Oh, okay.
The guy inspired me on his social media.
Okay.
I did buy another course from another person in US, and that's how I had everything organized to know what steps to do. I mean, it's nice to have some things organized, but most things you learn by doing, I feel. So, it's been 6 years, I believe, at this point.
Cool.
Since I'm doing this.
A lot of experience. Yeah.
I mean, it never stops anyways.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Would you recommend someone who is starting out right now to do it with a coaching, or is watching YouTube videos enough?
First of all, I think that it's a bit more difficult to do it by yourself now. And unless you have someone that knows, like, it's updated with the current policies and like what's the space right now to guide you, to take your hand and guide you throughout the process. It's more difficult to learn things by yourself, because many times I've noticed, even at myself, you think that you did something right, but because you don't have experience, you could not see that another factor was involved, and so that later catches up with you. You don't realize it now,
like the patent,
right?
For example,
right?
Yeah.
So right now you may believe that you did the right thing and it is looking well, but because you don't have experience, you don't see what's the downside of not looking at that. So having someone to direct you there, I think it's much better for someone that just starts.
And it can cost you hugely, because you invest into sourcing the products, into a proper listing, etc. So you invest quite some money, right? And then when there's a big mistake, then you cannot sell it anymore. It's quite a big loss. So, and it's also my experience when it comes to selecting products, that I have like people who see my channel, then they reach out to me because their product is not doing well, and then we talk about it. And then it's too late already, because they have invested a lot. And then, we have to say it won't sell for this and this reason. So it's better to have, in my experience, to have someone on your side who can help you make a good decision regarding product selection.
Yeah, but even as much as you try to make a good decision, you're never 100% sure of what
Yeah.
the outcome is going to be.
Yeah.
You can make an informed decision based on data and try to, minimize all the potential risks.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you just have to start,
Yeah.
and then you figure out later. If you have issues that you cannot see in advance, if you believe that you can figure it out, you will figure it out later.
Yeah.
But the thing is that the reason most people just want to jump in is because they want it quick. They want it now. They want to make money now.
Yeah.
But many times, if you want to do it for long term, for a few years, you have to step back and look at, like, kind of work in reverse the goal, instead of just trying right now fast, showing one thing there. So because what's happening if you do this, you put very minimal effort of something, just like a prototype. You throw it out there. But the thing is that when you try something and you're not all in, many times it doesn't work because it's poor quality. You didn't pay attention to the details.
Yeah.
There
is a German guy who is saying, like, why don't people like try it out and see if the product sells already?
Yeah.
But then I always wonder, how do you want to do that? Because you don't have proper listing images, etc. So you don't get a good price for the product because you just buy a few.
Yeah.
For me, that is not representative of future, or an indicator for future success.
I wouldn't say that there's only one right way. I think both ways are good. It very much depends on the product and if they're expensive, but it's hard. I mean, even if you make a few sales, if the product and the customer experience is not well on point, you get bad reviews after you get the sales, and you have to kind of restart with a new listing.
Yeah.
So you may want to validate your product by getting a few sales here and there. It's okay. Yeah, you may want to validate it by just getting a few sales. But I think that if you put this was always my strategy. I prefer to only have a few products, but know that I can make those the best products I can make. Work on the customer experience and maximize every touch point with the customer.
It sounds like you and I went to the same Amazon FBA school, so my approach is very similar.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So maybe you do private label, right? A few products in private. What space are you selling in?
Office
space?
Yeah. Office products.
And you can live off Amazon FBA right now. Do you mind sharing your revenue and profit margin?
Yeah, I mean, right now we do around 20%. I also have a small team, 4 people.
Yeah.
And we do about 200,000 a month revenue with 20% profit.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's higher, sometimes it's lower.
Yeah.
But
great.
Yeah, I feel like we got the product to a good point by just paying attention to the customer experience, and it's a feedback loop where we get more good reviews, and that pushes the listing, and everything is like that.
Awesome. That's great to hear that it's successful. How do you come up with the product ideas? Is it something that you developed yourself, or did you look at the market and thought this product is selling well, I sell the exact same one? What's your strategy?
My strategy is the following. So I don't want to come up on the market with something totally new, because I need to educate the market in that scenario.
Okay. Not totally new? Okay.
No. So what I do, I research the market, see what's out there, what people look for already, and then I try to add to it 10-20% better or more. Or try to combine 2 products into one and create something that doesn't exist already, so people can get like the benefits of 2 into 1. I'll be honest.
Way to go. Yeah.
I'll be honest. I don't subscribe to the philosophy of having thousands of products, and because that's very overwhelming and requires a lot of capacity to manage all of those, especially if you don't have a team. So I prefer to spend half a year, 1 year developing a product. For example, right now I have a product. It's 12 months at this point. We didn't expect that. We thought 4 months is going to be ready. But that run into issues. I don't want to just let's try like this and put it on Amazon and see if it works. I know it's not gonna work because I did this before. So I prefer to step back, do it again. The products were not done well by the factory, so we had to kind of redo them with the adjustments, and that costs a bit of extra money. But I prefer to do that and launch 80% right. I don't want to wait for 100% because it's never sure. So I want to get it 80% right and then put it up there and then improve later on whatever other things. So it may take longer, but I think that's the way to go.
To do it properly, because you want to have a long-term successful business. And
to be like long-term oriented instead of short-term. It's much more difficult. It requires more effort, but that's why it works. Because not very many people are willing to do that.
That's the point. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. So now let's say somebody who's watching wants to start with Amazon FBA. What's your piece of advice for somebody who wants to start out? Maybe you can share motivation, whatever.
If you want to try, then don't try. because trying in my perspective is going half in, like half asset, like
Yeah.
someone said that. If you try halfway through,
Yeah.
many times it doesn't work. If you like committed to it and you don't stop, give yourself 1 year, okay, and don't stop within this 1 year. Whatever challenge you encounter, decide in advance that during this 1 year, I will solve any problem, even if I make no profit and even if I waste time. Of course, it's a learning curve in the beginning for the first few months, but I see too many stories of people launching, seeing that it's not meeting their expectation, and they give up and try something other business.
Yeah.
The truth is that any business will work. Like all businesses, there is someone in all domains that makes millions. They just waited enough to learn all sides of that business,
Yeah.
and now they can be the best at it. And the other ones that just try can never beat this guy because he knows all the angles and everything about this specific business. So it's not necessarily about the type of business; it's about you being committed to it and fixing any problem that shows up. So just give yourself 1 year, and then if after 1 year you still cannot make it profitable or you still didn't find a good product, then you can reassess your situation and see if you want to continue or not. But it requires effort, and people expect easy. But if it's easy, easy comes, easy goes, kind of things.
I could not have said it better. It's really cool. Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing your experience.
Pleasure.
And yeah,
Thank you.
bye bye.